Hey, perfect spirit. I'm Sam, and they call me the Miracle Man. Let's create that miracle, that transformation in your life right here, right now. No time to delay. So, with Halloween coming up, I'm just talking about some different subjects. The other video I created recently was about nothing is paranormal. All right, that's fine. But what happens if you have a ghost in your house? What do you do? Now what? So ghost experience could be you hear somebody walking and there's no one there. A door opens, closes, cabinets open, maybe a scream down the hall. So what do you do in this case? Because mine would say, this is paranormal. How do I stop this? But in the level of spirit, you're like, there's perfect spirit without a body. What do I do? They're really disturbing me. They're really freaking me out. How can I get them out of my space, if you will? Well, so here's some things you don't want to do. You don't want to be in a place of stress, of fear. That sort of keeps them around. That's sort of gives them like energy to stick around. So you don't want to be in a fearful state, a stressed out state, an anxious state. You really don't want your energy there. And some people like to sage, maybe salt, some other things, but these are all temporary. They're not going to solve it permanently. These are just temporary band-aids, little fixes. So I'm giving this talk based on my own experience that I moved a few spirits on. One was stuck in the basement of a house, and one spirit was from somebody that died in a car accident earlier that day, and they were stuck on the side of the road. So there's a few cases where I moved on. It wasn't me, demanding things of them or anything like that. The way I got them to move on was just to have a conversation with them. Like the doctor stuck in the basement. This was right down the street from Penhurst. Penhurst was notorious as a place for where children were abused and all sorts of issues there in Penhurst in Chester County, Pennsylvania. Well, I was living at the time right down the street from there, and was really curious, like why the dogs weren't going down to the basement. Then when go down to the basement, I see, there's a doctor here in the basement. The dogs don't like the doctor. So the way I got to talk to the doctor was just explain to him that he wasn't in charge. He was just a worker, if you will, that he had no power to create any changes, but he felt a lot of guilt, a lot of remorse about what happened that was keeping him stuck on this plane, if you will. So I had to have that conversation with him for like 10, 15 minutes and explain to him that it was okay, that he did the best that he could do. But now it's time to go to the other side, to go into that light and just help him. And now with the person with the, you know, from the car accident didn't realize they died. So I just had a few minute talk with her and just explained to her that, I'm sorry, but your body has departed. That your spirit is free to go elsewhere. Just having that remorse, that that sympathy for her, that empathy, and help her move onward, not demanding anything, just having that conversation. So that's where it's all about, having conversations to realize the mind wants to call this a paranormal experience, but you really need to reframe it that this is perfect spirit as well. They simply don't have a body anymore. So the best way I can help them to move on is by conversation, by talking to them. And there's some other ways as well, but these have always worked for me. My limited experience of moving two souls on. I think I may have done more, but these two come to mind anyway. And plus, I never ran into a demonic entity, if you will. I just never had. And I thought this was kind of unusual because you hear all these TV shows and programs. But then I heard from like Dolores Cannon, the spiritual teacher Dolores Cannon, and her like 40, 50 years doing this work. She also never encountered what we call a demonic entity. Now, I'm not really sure where that comes from. It could come from like a belief system. Oh yeah, there's definitely some jokesters in the spiritual realms. Just like in the human realms, there's these jokesters, these pranksters. But you can move them on by having this conversation, saying, hey, I'm not appreciating this. I'm here in this body, I'm trying to have my best human experience. And you're really messing with this. You're really causing me upset. And really to have that conversation with them. They will move on. Like I said, there's some other techniques that you can use to help them move on, like asking your spirit guides to assist to move them on, calling on the angels, the higher beings to help escort them onward, that we're connected to all that is. So realize this entity and yourself are connected, they're joined, that we're connected to all things, and we have that avenue of communication there. We have that direct link. We simply need to get the mind out of the way. It's creating interference. And a lot of times, like you've got these ghost hunting shows, like what's this latest show I think I saw was like a ghost ruined my life or something like that. It's like, no, that ghost didn't ruin your life. You ruined your life because of your stories, your projections. It was just perfect spirit. And sometimes they could be stuck in a limbo. Like they don't realize they're dead. They're in remorse. They don't want to move on. There's something going on that's keeping them ingrained into the earth plane. But we have to realize spirits are just mingling with us. Some are really grounded here and some come and go. Like my mom and dad, they come and go. They're not stuck here, but there's like, I'm here in the living room. They're in the kitchen, they're around, but they're not like stuck here. But there are some spirits that are stuck here, but we can help them. We can assist them by empathy, by compassion, by understanding, by having a conversation with them to realize they too are perfect spirit. How can I help this spirit join his loved ones, return back to the light? All right, I think that's my talk for today. Take good care of yourself. Bye for now.